Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague. With me, like always, is the man who came out of development hell to finally join another podcast episode, Noah Bailey. And the reason I said that was because the Avatar sequels have been delayed again. To the surprise of everyone involved. They're delayed indefinitely again.
Of course. And again, no one.
No one asked. Like, James Cameron keeps trying to say that, like, he firmly believes that Avatar 2 will be in game at the box office. I'm like,
What?
what?
Why? No, it won't. There's no reason it will. It's not. No, there's not nearly as much. No one even remembers what the story of Avatar is.
No. I remember Sigourney Weaver was in it. I don't remember anything else about it.
I don't even remember anything about that movie. All I remember about the movie is blue people, really good graphics for the time, and that's about it.
Yep.
And that's why it did so well, because it looked good. But look good doesn't really matter.
Also, it was re-released
anymore.
like 3 times.
Yeah, and like the thing is, like, movies now look good and they tell great stories. You know, you got and I know Endgame, like, obviously, like, yeah, I'm biased. I like comic book movies, but it actually told a story over the course of, like, what, 20 movies?
23, I think, Endgame fell on.
Something, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, there's a lot writing onto this versus Avatar 2. Okay, they're probably gonna have to do a whole new story, because who even knows what the story Avatar 1? So, like, I don't know, man. I don't think it reaches $1 billion, let alone 2, and like 2.8 or whatever billion. Or
I think Avatar 1 had like 2.78, and then Endgame
there's
just
no way.
barely did 2.8. Now,
There's no way.
we've been wrong before when it came to certain movies making money.
This is fair. This is true.
We thought,
This is
Venom and Aquaman would be bombs because they
Somehow.
should have been. But
It's all about the timing.
I guess, I don't know.
Because I'll put it this way: if Avatar is the first movie that comes out when movie theaters get open again and people are actually not afraid to go outside,
Yeah.
it might get 2.7 or 8 billion.
I mean,
But
the Christopher Nolan movie Tenet is still scheduled for August 26th. I'm like, that's too early, but okay. August.
and it August, like less than a month away. Is there even
Yeah.
a movie theater open?
Movie theaters are starting to reopen at half capacity, and they're not showing any new movies. They're just showing like reruns of older movies. Like, I think 2 weekends ago, Empire Strikes Back made like $560,000 at the box office just because that re-released for the 40th anniversary, I think. And
Cool.
it just was the highest grossing movie of that weekend at $560,000.
I mean, granted, I don't feel like going to the movies, but I mean, I'd go to, like, if they just did that again when movies open up, I would go see that.
Yeah.
But,
I always wanted to watch
see that.
Empire, even though it's on Disney Plus. I would be more than willing to watch it.
No,
in
but I mean,
theaters.
I've never seen it in a theater before,
Yeah.
so I mean, obviously, I was not born, so it's like I did not,
You're about,
I did
what,
not make
17,
the
18 years off of
1980
that?
release date. I forgot my ticket in 1980, so it didn't work out, but I will surely, but I don't know, Avatar 2. I mean, it could be okay. Maybe the graphics are just next worldly again.
Maybe,
But
but I don't know.
Maybe not.
The current plan is to maybe possibly release Avatar 2 in 2022. There are 4 Marvel movies coming out that year.
Yep.
The Batman is probably also going to be pushed down to that year as well. Like,
Yeah, everything, honestly.
yeah, it's just, Black Adam, if that's still happening. Like, there's a lot of movies that are going to be coming out that year. Like, the main reason why Avatar, on top of it, being a visually stunning movie with an all-star cast by James Cameron that was marketed it meant like used James Cameron like emptied his entire wallet to market that movie, not literally, but like it felt that way. I can even now remember just every single commercial break. There was at least two commercials for Avatar stuff. Like the main reason, aside from that, why it made $2+ billion is because it was the only movie that came out in 2009. That was a big deal. Like there was no big superhero movie. The MCU had just gotten started the year prior. There was no DC movie. Again, Dark Knight was the year prior. I think X-Men Origins Wolverine might have been that year, but blah. Like I don't like there really wasn't. I can't. Maybe a Fast and Furious, maybe a Mission Impossible, but like nothing to the scale of an Avatar came out that year.
No, there's pretty much I see Up, The Blind Side, and one of the Transformers movies.
I mean, okay,
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I guess Revenge of the Fallen did come out that year, but like that's not. Avatar isn't competing with Revenge of the Fallen. They're two very different. I feel like they're very different audiences.
No, but like, yeah, again, nothing really in their demographic to go up against. So I think that's kind of and that's. I mean, that's a big part of it because as we've seen with Aquaman, when nothing is going up against your movie, you will do well.
Like even if you have stuff like Spider-Verse and Bumblebee, they're just not as big as Aquaman somehow was. Like,
yeah, you know, what I mean, it just is, and that's the thing. It's like they're not, especially if it's not. People will go to the movies, whether anything's out or nothing's out. People are going. So the thing is, if your movie's the only thing out, you're just gonna do well.
Yeah.
And yet people still put their movies on like the same weekend as like Marvel movies, and I'm like, how did you think this was gonna work out for you?
You thought it was a good idea to release Cats the same weekend as Episode 9. Granted, they're both bad movies,
like,
but
really?
like, still, one of those is significantly worse than the other, and that's saying something for how bad Episode 9 is. Like,
yes, and yet it matters not because the name brand alone shatters everything else. Any Star Wars movie, even Solo probably would have, but again, Solo got overshadowed by even bigger movies. So it's like you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them in the movie business.
Yeah.
Because you're just you're not gonna Shazam's like, oh yeah, we can stand up to. Really? Can you? No, you can't.
You can't say that for the other Captain Marvel. Sit down.
Yeah, like no, like come on, man, like that was a stretch. But to say like Endgame, like dude, what are you doing? Like, there's no chance. That's the biggest movie ever. But like, yeah, we can take them. Like, okay.
Avatar 2, if it does come out in 2022, it's not gonna even be the biggest sci-fi action movie that year. Captain Marvel 2 is gonna be that year. Guardians 3 might be that year. I feel like there's Thor. Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder is gonna be that year. Doctor Strange is gonna be that year.
Potentially Black Panther 2.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's still doing that.
Maybe some side Star Wars project like.
Yeah, I mean John Wick.
The Matrix is coming out. Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, who knows? I mean, that Flash movie.
Sure, that Flash movie.
It's funny because it's never coming out. But I could be wrong. It could come out next week. I mean, again, we've been wrong on here, but at the same time, we've also not been wrong sometimes too. So take that with a grain of salt.
So, okay, so the Snyder Cut that's coming out. Periodically, Zack Snyder just kind of releases random clips that he's been working on, and the other day he released a clip of Superman in the black suit.
Okay.
It was that deleted scene from Justice League of Superman flying down to meeting Alfred, which I don't really know how he knows Alfred exists. I mean, I know he knew that Batman was Bruce Wayne, but I'm not sure how he would have known that Alfred exists, but whatever, it's fine. And in the original deleted scene, he was just in the red and blue spandex and talking to Alfred and whatnot. In this deleted scene, or in the scene that Zack Snyder released, he came down, it was the same scene, just Superman was in a black suit.
That's it.
That's it. And people freaked out when they saw the black suit on the big screen finally. Like, yeah, it looks so good. Oh my goodness. I can't believe they finally put the black suit on the big screen. Like, they just color corrected a red and blue to be black.
I was about to say, it doesn't even look like, it looks... Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now. I don't get it. Like, it looks the exact same, except obviously, yeah, color corrected or whatever they did. But like, they did not reshoot this.
The black suit is this thing that fanboys, especially of the Justice League, but like fanboys of Superman in general, just like have it in their minds that the black suit is this super important, iconic thing from Superman lore. Like, does it represent anything? I don't think so. It was just another suit he had on the Kryptonian ship. I don't even think it was like his father's suit or whatever. I think he just had it.
It's, from my understanding, it's kind of just like the post-death Superman suit. So it's supposed to be like, I guess that's like its claim to fame, but like it's other than that, it's not.
He also had a mullet, so like, are you gonna freak out when Henry Cavill shows up with like a mullet? Like, no, it would look bad.
I mean, maybe they could keep the mustache for once. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know about the. Yeah, I don't know about that. Like, again, the black suit, I get it's a cool idea, but I don't think it's like integral to the story in this concept. And also, like, again, is it worth drooling over that they, if this looks like this could have easily been done just by a fan. It probably has been done by a fan on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, because Zack Snyder did it, this movie's got here. So,
yeah. Like,
it's
so funny watching Snyder fanboys just fawn over literally everything Zack Snyder does. Like, it's almost as if people who are Zack Snyder fanboys have never seen a movie before, because they like try to sow symbolism and like intentionality into every single aspect of these movies. Like, there's one, like this, the first scene that we got that Zack Snyder posted from his Justice League was Wonder Woman walking in some cave or whatever, looking up at like an engraving of Darkseid, and like the way it was shot, like she like looked up at it, it cut to the Darkseid, cut back to her, cut back to Darkseid. And people are like, oh, this is a parallel to that scene in BVS when like Batman's looking at his suit and then it cuts back to him and like the parallels are there. It's like, do these people not know what reverse shot cinematography? Like, this is how movies are made. Reverse shot has been a thing since the 20s. Like, yeah, Zack Snyder is like this god of filmmaking who created the shot. No, that's just how movies are made.
It's like he's the greatest. Like, oh, his creator. How does he do it? It's like everyone does this. This is a thing. This is a common thing.
Not to like discount his filmography. Like, it was a good shot, but these people like they try to say like all these shots are like so beautiful and like so like it's a fine movie cinematography wise. Like, that's literally the only decent thing about BVS is the fact that it at least visually looks interesting most of the time. but that doesn't. I don't know. I feel like people put too much emphasis on stuff like that, and it drives me up a wall and hilarious, and like it's just so funny watching these people every single time. Like Zack Snyder posts anything, them praising it just because it's sex. I don't know. It's weird.
Dude, I don't know. It's so weird. It's just like you said, everyone's defending this and like, oh, this is great. And then, like, I like scroll on YouTube. I see one guy on YouTube's like this is like, sure, but the movie's still gonna be trash.
Yeah.
And then there's all these comments like attacking this guy, and I'm like, don't boo him. He's right. Like,
yeah. Why are you booing me? I'm right.
I mean, I again, I haven't we haven't seen the new one. I don't know, but look, I for one like that just like these DC movies like Justice League, especially Batman and Superman, and all like so far I have not been impressed, and I love these characters a lot more than Marvel characters.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the exception of Spider-Man. DC, I love DC way more than Marvel, but these movies are bad.
So
I don't like them. They don't do They're animated movies that tell way better stories than this.
Yeah, like not to discredit animated movies, but like there's this perception of live action movies inherently having a higher quality, or at least higher perceived quality than animated movies. So if your animated movie is able to tell a better story in a much shorter amount of time with a much lower budget, like, what are you doing?
Right? I mean, seriously, like, can we get like? I really want these like a big budget, because like they feel like everything needs to be live action, everything needs to be, and obviously live action movies do work, but like not everything needs to be live action, and like some things just because it's live action does not mean it's better by any means. I would rather watch any animated DC movie than watch Batman vs Superman again.
Like Into the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie. So
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, like there are so many better DC animated movies than any. I would argue even better than, well, maybe not better, at least subjectively, than The Dark Knight, even in my opinion. Like,
yeah, I mean, again, and especially like not just how and also the writing in general, because like how the characters are, because like how these DC how these characters are written, they don't follow the source material. They're just thrown together and just. Some of them don't even have personalities, and it's just kind of like, well, what is going on here? Like, what are we doing? We're just misfits for some reason. We're like this.
I think I've said this before, but like, I'm not one of these people that like demands that every single comic book hero on the big or villain, whatever, on the big screen has to look and be exactly like their comic book counterpart. You can have some liberties here and there. But if you get just basic aspects of Batman wrong, like my least favorite scene in the Justice League movie is when Aquaman is like, or Batman is trying to recruit Aquaman, and he's like trying to intimidate him, and Aquaman just was like, "What's this guy doing?" Just, he starts like talking whatever language at the other people in the pub, and Batman just kind of like looks around and like has this like dumb look on his face, like he doesn't know what's happening. It's like, this Batman has been doing this for 20 years and he's not at the point where he understands every language. Like,
right? Like, how many times have you seen it? Batman, like someone's talking to like, and then Batman just jumps in the conversation in their language, and everyone freaks out. Like in that, like even in like the Justice League cartoon, there's like there's like I don't know if it's like a made up country or whatever, but the guy's like, you can't, like in his way, like, you can't interrogate me. I don't speak your language. And Batman's like,
I can.
No, I speak your language, and you're gonna talk. And it's just like that's Batman. And again, like, and I get like, okay, learning every language and who knows what he was even speaking is crazy, but also it's Batman. That's the whole point. Yeah. Like, it's Batman. This isn't like. it's Batman. It's a comic book movie. It's supposed to be this OP comic book
Hmm.
character. Like that's the whole
Like,
point.
especially when DC fanboys insist that like these modern DC movies are the most comic book accurate these characters have ever been,
No.
and they try to justify it by saying, "Oh, Batman killed people in the first issue back in 1940." Shut up.
Like, dude, no, man.
You
Like,
can't justify something by saying, "Oh, it happened 80 years ago."
it happened one time. So, it's like people are like, I can make it to the NBA even though I'm 5'5". Like, Muggsy Bogues did it. I can do it too. Like, yeah, because everyone that tall is gonna make it. Like, just because one guy, just because it happens one time, does not mean that's how it's supposed to go. Like this is how like I'm saying it's like, oh, this one issue, Lex Luthor or Lex Luthor's son or whatever was like. I'm like, dude, we know like 99% of the time, this does not fit the description of Lex Luthor. Like, come on, man. Like this, you can't be like, oh, the one time in this issue that like one person read or something. Like, you can't like every other depiction of Lex Luthor I've ever seen, that matches
No.
nothing.
Like one random all-star Superman comic like from 20 years ago all of a sudden means that it's okay to have this universe's Lex Luthor be his son with like no, it's so weird.
So weird.
And
And
then,
like his personality is so like
he,
that's not Lex
no.
Luthor. That's no.
It's the Riddler of anything, yeah.
This manipulative, calculated, like power hungry, just like boss like figure. This guy looks like he has ADHD. Like I can't. No
Which like
offense
it's
to
fine
anyone.
if there is a character who is like that, but that's not Lex Luthor.
Right.
Like, as long as the skeleton of the character is generally the same, I don't care if you take liberties. But like, Lex Luthor is one of my favorite DC villains. That is just straight up not Lex Luthor, and they tried to play it off like because it was a reshoot way late in development that made him his son. Like the scene where he like had that monologue about having daddy issues. That was a scene added months before release of the movie because they knew that people would be upset that this isn't Lex Luthor, but that doesn't help the inherent issue of this is your villain. Your villain is like this.
Like this isn't like Luthor, and none of this makes sense. And these characters, you know what I'm saying? And like nothing but the quintessential thing most of the characters stand for isn't like Superman
Oof.
is not Superman.
Like
Batman
this character is supposed to
is
be this
not
beacon
Batman.
of hope and justice and liberty and like freedom and whatnot is just a mopey loser the whole movie.
And he just like casually kills everybody, and no one like and it's like he's like the people are afraid of me. I'm like, you just put that man in a building, like yeah, like and like yeah, I mean, granted, yeah, maybe he was a terrorist, but like yeah, I'd be afraid of someone who could do that too, and especially wasn't like a nice guy. He's just kind of there,
Yeah.
like. I don't know.
I'm all for the idea of Superman being this godlike being that people don't understand. That I am fine with.
That makes sense.
But the way they took 2 movies to try to like shove it into your face that Superman doesn't belong to this planet and everyone hates him and like only Lois understands him and like in no universe are these people gonna actually understand him, and then you kill him off and then everyone just automatically believes, oh, he was this, this
he
like,
was one of us.
He was one of us. He was this
moment.
perfect, like savior from the heavens. That like everything sucks now that he's dead. Like we can't buy it.
You were trying to kill him like the last movie, and now all of a sudden now that he's dead, dang, I miss him. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and just I don't know, man. It's just stuff like this is just like I don't get it. But but it's amazing. But it's the perfect story, obviously. Even though it's trying to do 7 comic books. How many? Did we ever count how many it was trying to do?
We did at one point. It was at least 7.
It was like that. It was a lot.
All-Star Superman, Dark Knight Returns,
like Death of Superman,
Death in the Family.
Yeah, that's right.
whatever Wonder Woman comic, like
just any Wonder Woman comic. Are there like these Trinity comics now? Like, isn't that a thing where it's yeah, the like
Superman Doomsday, like
yeah,
ugh.
yeah, I don't. It's they're there. It's a lot. They're just throwing it all together, and here we go. And now we're here, and this movie is getting redone, even though it's like, I swear it's gonna be like 95%. Watch it be like 90% the same movie, but everyone like flips out. That's amazing.
Yep.
There'll be like one scene taken.
They like, because some of the main issues with this Justice League that we got was that a lot of the reshoots were noticeably different because the lighting was just different. If they just like color correct it, like that one scene with Aquaman, like getting in the water, like it's clearly two different shots. One for that Zack Snyder did, one that Joss Whedon did. Like the one that Joss Whedon did is a lot lighter and like you can actually see what's going on. So if they just color corrected to be like dark and gloomy the entire movie, everyone will freak out and love it. Guarantee it. And that'll be 90% of the movie.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, because even here, I mean, he's got the black suit, and like, yes, the suit is black now, but it's like just recolored or whatever, and everyone's like, "This is it. This is the movie. This is like they're freaking out," and I'm just like, it's the same. Like,
the black suit means nothing if the character wasn't Superman to begin with.
The detail, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The little details are irrelevant when you're missing the big picture.
Like in Marvel, people get so upset when they get like the Mandarin wrong, or like they fuse villains together to get people like Hela or like Whiplash, or like there's different. There have been many times throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe where they like fuse different villains together, just just to make a more interesting villain, and I think that's fine. Like Hela was a very compelling villain, even though Hela from the comics isn't really like that. But I think that's fine. Even some heroes, I think you can, like Black Panther, if they wanted to like mess around with him a little bit, like still keep the core of the character, mess around with him a little bit, I think that would be fine. But Superman and Batman are the two most iconic heroes on the freaking planet.
This is true.
You can tweak with Captain America even. Don't tweak with Spider-Man, but you can tweak with Captain America or Iron Man or Thor, which they have done a lot with Thor.
They did tweak with Thor, they did, and it was better.
Exactly. And people are upset that, Spider-Man is now Iron Man Jr., which, whatever.
I see the point, but I mean, it works for this universe.
For the universe, it works. Like,
yeah.
People are upset about that, understandably. Yet these people who see Superman and Batman, who are essentially thematically the same character in BVS, and they don't care. The point of Dark Knight Returns is that these characters are so dichotomatically different that them clashing is a battle of both ideals, personality, like everything about their characters is clashing. Yet when they're both just brooding losers the whole movie, you don't feel it.
And these like epic moments just feel lame because there's been the only thing building has been how much I don't like this movie this whole time. So the clash doesn't make anything. But
and then that doesn't carry over into Justice League at all because Batman didn't like Superman for most of your movie, and in the last half hour they just became friends for no reason, and then Batman tries to act like Superman's just like this beacon of hope that the world needs now, and like because Superman has to come in to save the day at the end, Aquaman and Wonder Woman are super depowered so that Superman can outshine them. So, like, why even have anyone else at all if Superman can just win? Like, I don't know.
It's its own. I don't know. I've said it. I don't really, I think the universe as a whole just isn't going to work out. I mean, it might make movies, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily good, at least in my opinion. I'm kind of waiting on the next run of the DC universe. Kind of. Maybe when we're older, maybe when we have kids, we can be like, now this is how the character's supposed to be.
Like, if they make another Superman movie, please have a villain who isn't Lex Luthor or Zod. Have someone else. Gorilla Grodd, Brainiac, even Mr. Mieskius. Like anyone, I don't care.
Lobo. I mean, you've got options.
Yeah.
I mean, Metallo. I mean, like you got like
should have been the villain. That would have made so much sense for either Metallo or Bizarro to be the villain of BVS. But nope, you got Doomsday. Even though it was right there to have Zod's body become Bizarro. That's he's the clone of Superman. So like,
it was right there. Oh, I didn't even see that.
He's a weird clone of Superman. So just have another Kryptonian's body be the base for Bizarro. It's right there.
And isn't he actually made by Lex Luthor?
Yes, he is. Everything was building to Bizarro.
Yo, I never even saw that. That was right there. That would have made way more sense. Mm-hmm. And like, I get he wouldn't be an exact clone of Superman, but I mean, it'd be close enough.
Yeah.
That it would be fine. No one would be like, oh, that's not like that would be a change that's not a big enough deal to care. Yeah. Because it still comes from the same source. It has the same properties, basically.
It would kind of fall in the same.
You could just be like, oh,
kind of fall in the same tier as like Vision in Age of Ultron. Like he wasn't created in the same way. Like the Mind Stone was never, to my knowledge, that was never an aspect of Vision's character in the comics. But like.
But it's enough to make it work.
Yeah.
And like keep Vision important in the story. But this would have made perfect sense. Yeah, but Doomsday. Why? Because Doomsday is notable. Which is true, but now you can't even do that big fight later, and like I don't know.
Like part of the in the Death of Superman movie, like it was so cool, the animated one. It was so cool watching Doomsday just beat the crap out of Green Lantern, Hawkeye, Cyborg, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. Like all these people put in everything they got into beating this guy, and for the entire Justice League to be taken out, and then Superman just barely scraping by and then dying at the end. Like that was, after they barely wore out Doomsday. Like I feel like that's so important, and then for all of them to be at his funeral, that's very important to this universe because you only had 3 people in the Justice League. Like that, you can't have that.
Yeah, and like, and also like, a big part of the Death of Superman is that like the people actually like Superman. First of all, like that's the whole point because people are supposed to care reasonably. Like here, they're just forced to care because of thematic, but like. In the actual story, Superman is beloved. He is awesome. Everyone likes Superman. Superman's that guy who, like, obviously, he's an alien. But, like, everyone likes Superman. Everyone wants to be Superman. Everyone loves Superman.
Like, he has his detractors, but in general, like, the general population loves him.
Right. And, like, he's had a bunch of fights, and they've seen Superman. Superman, obviously, there's 2 things. Superman's a great guy, and Superman always wins. And that's the whole point about this. Not only does Superman literally get killed, but, it's like he's a part of the city. He's a part of everything Metropolis stands for, everything. And he's this huge symbol of hope, believe it or not.
For the world.
And then literally gets killed by some giant monster. Granted, they usually kill each other about the same time, or they both die the same way. However, the point is they both die. But it's a huge deal, and like his final act and will is still saving the city, which is huge and everything, and it means way more because they didn't spend a whole movie wanting Superman to be dead, or 2 movies,
and then this shows just how much Zack Snyder doesn't understand the character. They fight Doomsday on Stryker's Island, a neutral zone in between Gotham and Metropolis. Like that just proves that Zack Snyder only has a very surface level knowledge of these characters. Like he might know some names here and there. He might know some important locations. Like, Stryker's Island, I can use that. Even though it's a very important prison that you keep all Superman's most deadly villains at. But like, no, we're just gonna have a fight here, not even in the middle of Metropolis. Like we already did that last movie, so we have to take them somewhere else. Like,
Like, what are we doing?
what was the point of this important battle?
Oh man, because it's like I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, it's supposed to be in Metropolis. That's the whole point. Because Doomsday is supposed to be going crazy. Crushes some people, throws people, stuff like that. And then like right before Doomsday like hits a baby or something, Superman shows up and like knocks him through a building. And then
knocks through a building. Like they fight on the bridge. They fight on Daily Planet Tower. They fight
everywhere.
Just all over.
That's the whole point. And the thing too is it's like they fight everywhere, and it's a very personal fight. And it's not just like it's not like the typical like anime or something like that where it's like in a wasteland or something. It's like there's a person right there.
Yeah.
If this punch, you can't just dodge this punch because this person is going. And that's a lot of reason why like the fight's a lot harder for Superman because it's not just beating Doomsday. It's protecting everyone while beating Doomsday, which makes the fight a lot harder. Which makes more sense to why Superman dies because it's not just, I got this giant monster. Well, let me just go take him into space and throw him down and destroy my whole city. No, I have to take my time, pick him apart, move him away from people, get people to safety, all while fighting this monster that's as strong as I am. And it's a whole thing. But and in this movie, they kind of just, I get there's damage, but like, I feel like they don't really care about people in these movies. I know in Justice League they were supposed to get civilians, but like, there's no way they did.
like, I think because of all the backlash from Man of Steel, which they already kind of did that, like Doomsday fight with Zod, like him going all around the city, crashing the buildings, protecting people and stuff, like forcing him to snap his neck to protect his people, whatever. I don't care. Because they already did that. Zack Snyder caved and felt, okay, we need to make it perfectly clear. It is after hours. No one is in downtown Metropolis right now. We need to make it perfectly clear that Stryker's Island is abandoned right now. Like, we need to say multiple times in this movie that no one will be harmed in the making of this climax. Like, that takes away the whole...
Yeah.
It takes away
but of
all
course,
of the... whatever.
But then they do have Batman just going ape and running over people in the Batmobile. Granted criminals or whatever, but
they're
still.
Hired goons. Like, they're just Lex Luthor hired these people just...
I don't...
Like...
You don't kill goons. Like, Batman does not even goons.
Like, you kill the KGB, sure, whatever. Fire him away, I don't care. But, like, random goons, like... He didn't bat an eye when he knocked that grenade into that hallway and those two guys blew up off screen. Like, he didn't care.
And then and I know some people are like, oh, well, was it Batman Returns or whichever movie where the guy throws the guy with the dynamite down the chute or whatever. He's like, yeah, I get that. And I understand. But like
that's Tim Burton's style to be a little more edgy. Like it's just
and then maybe you could say all the Zack Snyder style, whatever, but like I feel like it more points to a fundamental misunderstanding of the characters more than just going for that style. Because if your style is just every character is broody and like, doesn't care and edgy and all that stuff, I mean, that kind of doesn't work for a lot of these characters. I mean, maybe it works for Batman in some aspects, but I feel like what Batman's fighting for counteracts how Batman is as a person. His motivation doesn't really add up to his character.
Yeah, especially since he's not. I don't know. Like I said, like thematically, the Batman versus Superman fight just feels so right on so many levels. And then here, I could go into every reason why it's wrong, but like just the reason they're fighting for both sides just doesn't fit the ideology really of either character, and it's just. I don't like Batman's just a maniac in that movie. like
does not care.
Yeah. I don't know. So to bring it full circle, I legitimately believe that Zack Snyder only color corrected him to have the black suit for fanboys who really care.
Absolutely.
It's not going to actually matter to Superman's character in this story, but only
No.
just for fans to point and go, "Hey, I know that."
No,
Like
and I mean,
90% of BVS.
yeah, no, and that's totally true because the thing is, the movie's gonna be essentially the same, but it's gonna be the little things that are gonna make the fan who already think this movie's a 10 are gonna make them think it's a 12.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like this, and it's stuff like that. It's kind of like I feel like this is gonna be a movie that like no one. First of all, no one's really good. Like the fanboys are the only ones who really care.
Mhm.
Like, and that's fine, I guess. But at the same time, like, don't try to judge. Like, if this is something you like, that's great. But don't like this movie's better than every other superhero movie since this.
Yeah.
That. I'm like,
don't
no,
try to like
no.
cherry pick boring sequences from Civil War and try to say that all of the MCU is like this and it's all boring. Like a couple weeks ago, there was this huge debate about like which has better cinematography, the DCU or MCU, and they took just a couple of screenshots from the airport sequence, still shots, which. Okay, first of all, that entire landscape, the entire area they're fighting was CG, like all of it. So like, I feel like that alone is impressive to like have the entire area there look so real, yet all of it be CG, but whatever. Like, sure, there are a couple of sequences from there, like when they're both running together. I feel the camera is a little too far back, so you can kind of tell like it's a little sparse. Like maybe we could have 3 more on either side would have made this a little cooler, but like it's still a good fight. So like they took a couple of screenshots from that and then paired it against just the best shots from BVS. But like I said, there are some decent shots in that movie. Although they're completely ignoring so many other scenes from Civil War alone, let alone Thor Ragnarok, Guardians 2, Endgame, and Infinity War. Like, there are so many other movies that have fantastic cinematography, and they're saying, oh, because Civil War, a couple of select screenshots of this are bad, the entire universe looks bad. No, stop it. I'm not even saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying you can't compare it like that.
And like, and the other thing too is like, again, yeah, those are small, but those are like, I would say again, as a non-movie, I feel like if you were not like a movie buff, like I feel like those are nitpicks for people, especially for just people like who just like movies, not necessarily for like someone who like really gets into the camera shots and this angle and that stuff like that. Like for the one who's just going to the movies for a good time, like that's not even relevant.
Yeah.
Like that's not even, and it's like, and the thing is, it's like these people, they will have like such a huge thematic hole in it, but then they'll be like, oh, you've got a smudge there, so this movie's better. I don't have a smudge there, and it's like, your movie as a whole, like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like if I can't like if I have a car that does not have an engine but has all 4 tires, and then someone has a flat tire, my car is not more valuable than their car because one of my tires is not flat.
Yeah.
Like I am missing something far more valuable and far more necessary for my car to even work to say anything about someone else's car. So I don't know why you're acting like he can get like you can patch a tire. You can't patch an engine. You need to buy a whole new engine. That is thousands of dollars.
I'm just imagining I'm just imagining like your car is just like on the side of the street, like no doors, on fire.
Yes!
Like this car had a very, very bad day. You're just sitting in front of it, and like some guy pulls up next to you with a flat tire, and like it has Marvel inside, and you're his DC, and it's like you a flat tire, suck it, fanboy. Like
yeah, it'll be never as good as my car. And the guy just like. What?
I have
No,
all four of my
like,
tires intact, so I mean,
like you
clearly
have a
better.
whole, you have a whole. That thing is not going anywhere. But and that's kind of how it is. It's kind of like I see, like you're not wrong at this tiny instance, but you're missing the whole point. And that's kind of the theme for all of this. Zack Snyder included is missing the whole point. It's like, yes, this little minute detail. Okay, sure, that's cool. A black suit Superman, I think that's cool. I see what
It
that
is.
represents. That's a good idea. However, it doesn't.
Fix.
The like 2% coolness doesn't make up for the 70% like loss of not even understanding the character as a whole. So that doesn't really do anything for me.
Yep.
It's got, it's like it doesn't work. I can't turn in a paper with, oh look, I signed my name in cursive, but the paper's only 2 out of 5 pages. Like you're not getting an A because
maybe a D. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're missing the important stuff, but then you put the little nice bells and with a little bow on it, and then it's great. And it's like, no, it's not. Like it's not. Like you're missing these huge aspects, and then it's like, no. See, I did that here. I'm like, no. That's not what I was thinking. That's not how that works. No. Here's my resource, and then like your resource is like some like sketchy website that no one's ever heard of, and like, oh yeah, see, it checks out right here. I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't even think that's the real website. I think you just made that webpage. Yeah. I don't even know if that's like a legit source. And even if it is, it's not like, like, this is a textbook, or in this case, a comic book. Like, yes, I get yours is probably some comic book that maybe no one's read, or is from like,
or like a fan fiction, or from
ago,
60, 70 years ago.
Or like, it's like if you based your entire, it's like if they based the entire universe off Injustice.
Yes.
It's like, yes, this happened. There is a version of Superman that went crazy, took over the world, etc. But if you ask 100 people, 100 people are going to tell you that's not Superman. Because that only happened one time. That isn't how that character works. That is an exception. People are trying to make exceptions the rule. That doesn't work in this context. When you have something this big, you need to go by what is accepted as the rule, not the exception as the mainstream.
Yeah,
and that's what it's like for Lex Luthor. Like, yeah, like, good.
It's like...
I've already been confused.
Yeah, okay, fine. It's like, to bring back to your paper analogy, it's as if you're in a history class, or some class that you're writing a paper for, and all of your sources are from are from credible sources and like credible encyclopedias and whatnot that date back before 1964. Like, a lot has happened since 1964, and yet you're gonna cite everything before then. Like, a lot has changed. A lot people have changed. Legislation has changed. Like, the world has changed since 1964. Yeah, you're gonna say that. Oh, this happened. Like,
this happened. So it's and it, like, it's like Ira says. Like, knowledge from one area can get old. It gets stale. It's not. You need knowledge from, and that's the thing. It's like, yes, okay, maybe in this one version of Lex Luthor, that Lex Luthor is like this, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, if not tens of thousands of comic books with Lex Luthor in it. And maybe
animated shows, movies, like
animated shows, other movies. Show me any other movie Lex Luthor looks like that, animated or real people or otherwise. Like, that's not. I mean, Smallville Lex Luthor. The CW understands Lex Luthor better than this version does. The CW, Supergirl, with the guy from 2.5 Men with a beard and a shaved head,
right,
is playing a better Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg is. Okay, and like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, and like, I know that's like a very, like, I don't even know why I know that, but the point is, like, you can't, like, they're basing the character off of this one instance, supposedly, and like, to be honest, I don't even think Zack Snyder knew that. Like, I think
I
that's
don't know
something
either.
some fanboy digged up, and then Zack Snyder might be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let's go for that." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he might just think this is the version I wanted to make, and the fanboys are like going through, "Oh, write that down. Where can I support that?" In some like archaic DC comic or somewhere, and I don't know, man. It bothers me because again, I have not read every comic book. I have not. I will not ever say I have because
Yeah.
I haven't. However,
I've seen enough DC content to know that this
yes,
isn't right.
that's what I'm saying. You know, like I've seen it, and you know, and it's not. And I know, and it's like it's not just me, and I know it's obviously me and you, but like I've every one of my friends, whether they're nerds, whether that like even my brother is not is not a huge DC, but he knows enough about DC characters. He
Mm-hmm.
knows who Lex Luthor is, and like even he's like, this is stupid. You know, like my mom doesn't even like comic books. My mom, I don't think mom's ever read a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
She was watching Batman versus Superman, and she's like, I don't get it. And understandably, like if it was a complicated movie, like you know what I'm saying, like but like to
Not,
the
it's
like
not.
Batman, Superman are the like you said the two most fundamentally known and understood superheroes ever created. Spider-Man might be in that conversation depending on who you talk to, but
He's a
more people
hard third, if not second. Like he's up
right,
there.
like depending on who you talk to, it's second. But first of
Yeah.
all, everyone knows Batman. I don't care who you are, what country you're from, you know
You
Batman.
know the Bat logo. Like
You know the
yeah.
logo, the music, the Danny Elfman score. You know enough. You know Batman, the bat signal, something.
Mm-hmm.
You know Batman. Like, and I know there are different versions of Batman. I know Christopher Nolan's Batman is very different from this Batman, is very different from, all Batman that have been created.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of these characters, they share very similar things that some of these characters in this newer universe don't seem to get. And that's kind of, it's like, and I don't know. I mean, I know some people love, and I know everyone loves DC. I love DC too, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, you know, I have a lot more faith in something written by something made and produced by Bruce Timm, the guy from the animated series,
Oh yeah.
versus anything Zack Snyder puts out
Yeah. Like
anytime.
every
Like
single time
even
we
the
talk
weird,
about
yeah,
every single time we talk about like these DC movies, we rag on these movies like at least once a month like this, which I am okay with doing because we usually talk about something new every time, which is pretty interesting. We
and it's like
always go into these conversations with full. We do it with love. We do it because we know they can be better.
yes, because
We
they
love
have
these
been.
characters so much. We know they can be better.
It's not like they could. It's like we have. It's not like these are new characters.
Mm-hmm.
These characters are going on what is it? Almost 90 now. Like these
Superman will be
characters.
90 in 2028. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like these characters have been around a long time. Okay. Granted, no, I wasn't alive for most of it, dude. I'm like 22. I'm not. I wasn't back in the 30s reading Superman. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, like I've been around comic books, movies, TV, etc. long enough to know these these themes, these emotions even. I mean, Superman is not moody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I get Superman can get down. Superman get upset. But Superman is supposed to be it's Superman. Like he's supposed to be what is it? Truth. Oh my god. What is
Truth,
it?
justice, and the
Something.
American way.
Yes,
They
thank
kind of
you.
taken out the American way because he's more of a person in the world, but like or in the
Which
universe
I
even. But
get,
like
that's fine. But you understand what that means.
yeah.
He's a very much uplifting, we can do this together, hope guy. Like he's that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that guy. Like
Yeah.
it's and it's like, why is he just mopey, depressed? And it's like
You can't
he's
just
always
say,
like
"Oh, the
this.
symbol on my suit it means hope," and then okay, that's cool, but he doesn't act upon that. So
No.
who
And
cares?
And I guess for me, it's kind of like I feel like when they're writing this, they're using preconceived notions of these characters to make up for not writing the characters well.
Yes.
Because it's like, well, we don't need to explain that Superman's hope. Everyone just knows Superman's hope. And it's like, well, that you still have to write that in. Like, you can't just say, oh, I mean hope. I mean, you're right, Superman stands for hope, but you can't just say that and not write him that way. You can't just be like, oh, everyone knows Lex Luthor. I mean, well, yes, but you still have to write him that way. You can't just say that's how it is, and they just, like, this isn't a self-interpretation. This is a movie. You're supposed to do the thinking. I mean, not the thinking, but you're supposed to describe and write and everyone already. You can't just make it all based on what their preconceived notions. I don't need to see a movie for that. I can just make my own movie for that.
Yeah.
Like,
I could write a fan fiction if that was
exactly. It's like that's the whole point. So it's like I don't know if it's just you just assume everyone knows what we're doing, or you just write your own thing, or you just don't fully grasp what the character's about. And and I know no one's perfect and everything, but it's like to see these people get to see like Zack Snyder get basically just like he's this amazing person behind these perfect movies, which that didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth. But like I don't know, man. Like I don't get it. I kind of lost faith in like the group think in general because it worries me, because just because you like a property or a character does not mean everything from said character or said property is great. Okay? Yeah. Like, it's kind of like that guy who, like, loves a sports team, and even though they're the worst team, still thinks still will argue why their team's better than yours. Like, it's so annoying, because, like, I know you're not a big sports guy, so I'll only be on the side for, like right now, the Panthers are bad.
Okay.
I am a big Panthers fan. Cam Newton's gone. He's on the Patriots, of course. So, Cam Newton's gone. All our good players gone. The Panthers last year sucked. This year are probably going to sink again. Like, I'm a big Panthers fan, but the Panthers are not good right now. I'm not going to go to anyone and be like, well, this is why the Panthers are better than your team. You know why? The Panthers are going to win like 5 games this year, if we have a season. So, like, the Panthers are not going to be a good team. And I own that. And with these DC movies, I love DC movies. But these aren't good. Like, aside from Wonder Woman and like Shazam, depending, like Shazam's pretty good. Wonder Woman did really well. But these other movies, I don't think they're that good movies. I don't think so. Some are awful. Some are just But no, I'm not going to be here like, well, because my favorite character's in it, which love me some Batman. Batman's terrible.
Doesn't make it a good movie.
I'm gonna say, as much as I love Batman, Batman in this movie is not good.
Yeah.
And I own that. That's okay. And I'm not gonna look into some hidden meaning that wasn't even written there. You just found it because if you look at something hard enough, you'll see what you want to see. And all this but really this is from issue 47 of no, man, you just gotta call it what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? And right now, it's not good. When Batman was awesome in 2008, yeah, Batman was pretty awesome. But right now, with these movies,
no,
this Batman ain't cool.
It's so
weird
though that with BVS, there's nobody who's in the middle. There is nobody who's it's fine. I can watch it. I don't love it, but it's fine. Everyone either hates it because it's a bad movie or loves it arbitrarily. There's no one in between. I don't understand that.
See, and for me, in my experience, when something is so polarizing like that, the only exception being politics, when something is so polarizing like that, one side is wrong. With politics, I think the answer's in the middle, but we're not going to go there.
There's certain... Yeah, okay, we're not going to do
that. Right. I'm not going to be one side's right, one side's wrong. Both sides got issues. Anyway, but in this case, I feel like if everyone loves... all these people love this movie, all these other people also hate this movie, and no one's it's okay. Everyone I talk to, they either love it or hate it. I've met some people who love this movie, and I have literally,
I think less of you
taking
now.
a second look at, like, it's kind of like Star Wars too. It's like, it's like some of these Star Wars movies lately. People either love it or hate it, and you're kind of just like, especially The Last Jedi, you're kind of like, interesting.
I feel
Everyone's
The
got
Last
their
Jedi even has like, I feel like that's a different case entirely because there is some legitimate criticism with it. I personally don't think they're as big of a deal as other people, but like, there are certain aspects of that movie that I feel could be argued are bad or could be argued are unnecessary or world building. Like, I understand that. I'll have that argument. With BVS, if you just break down almost every single scene, there is something wrong with it. There's a scene where Superman gets naked and like what? Like just gets in the bathtub with
that
Lois.
bathtub
Like why? Why did that happen?
That was such a weird scene. I don't even like. I don't know. There's just a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of scenes where it's just kind of like,
why is this happening?
and like, yeah, it's like, granted, it's a long movie, but it's like, you ever watch a movie where you're just like, what are we doing? And
especially
like, granted,
people that are like, oh, the Ultimate Edition makes this movie 10 times better. The original cut, yeah, it has some issues, but the Ultimate Edition makes it perfect. The Ultimate Edition is a worse movie.
it's just long. I haven't seen the Ultimate Edition. My best friend saw it. He told me that it kind of explained a little more with Clark Kent doing stuff and why he hates Batman. But I was still like, but that doesn't.
But that's still undercut
not the main
by
issue.
That's still undercut by the fact that the reason they fight in the end is because of a completely different scenario than what it was building to in the first place. So like you can explain all that away. You can explain exactly, go into intense detail why Superman hates Batman. But then if you change the reason they're fighting, that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it gives me an extra catalyst to fight you. But it's like, well, one, the reason you're fighting is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fighting you because he told me to? Like, he has my mom. I'm like, you're Superman. Like, get her back. Or, like, just talk to Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I know people are like, oh, well, Batman started the fight, or I'm like, okay, dude,
no, he didn't.
You're Superman.
Superman
like,
pushed him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference between coming to try. Like, he would come in there looking for a fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was very like, come on, man. And again, it's kind of like a lot of those scenes in The Rise of Skywalker where it's like, interesting, cool stuff did happen. Like, I think the idea of like other Jedi of the past talking to Rey is cool. I think the idea of, Rey shooting Force lightning is cool. I think the idea of just willing stuff out of the Force is weird.
I love it.
I love the idea of that. Sure, why not? It's the last movie. Let's pull something out of a hat. Force lightning wasn't a thing until Palpatine just did it. So it's like, why not? So, but you have to, it has to be earned. Like, you can't just do cool stuff for dumb reasons. It makes the cool stuff not cool anymore. And like, in this case, Batman and Superman fighting is one of the coolest concepts comics have ever had.
Oh yeah.
However, if the writing isn't there, if the reason behind the fighting, if the characters themselves are not the way it should be, it doesn't work. And
also, not to mention that the fight itself wasn't good.
No. I feel like this Batman's not smart. Do you kind of feel that? Like, not like he's dumb, but like he's not a genius.
He's more of a like hulking brute than the like meticulous, detective, which it's fine to go a different direction with like exactly how he Batmans. But again, since this is supposed to be the most comic book accurate, all of his detective work is just presented to him by Lex Luthor. Like, it's not.
He doesn't really
just do anything by
figure
himself.
anything out. He kind of just opens stuff, and it's like it.
Like, Batman shouldn't be so easily goaded into a fight just because someone wrote, "You let your parents die" on a piece of newspaper. Like, no, that's so dumb.
That's such a dumb thing in the first place. But yeah, I don't know. This Batman doesn't feel like, and I know people are like, oh, this is the best Batman, and I'm like, no. But
Yeah.
like I'm not even gonna argue with that. I don't even care. Like, no, like it just doesn't work because like, yeah, okay, yeah, he's a big dude, but like, so like he doesn't do like being like fighting is a part of Batman, yes, but honestly, at least for me, fighting is like the third, like out of the big three things Batman does: greatest detective, stealth, obviously,
Mm,
and fighting. Like those are that's Batman. You got those three things, you can call yourself Batman. I
yeah.
don't care. Like,
But if you're going to Batman just for fighting, then just play Arkham City. Like you don't need.
but even Arkham City, like, yeah, granted, like the actual detective work in Arkham City is basically like, press A to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, but still, I mean, the stealth is very important in that game. There's a whole fight scene, or not fight scene, a whole boss fight about stealth and
Right, the
tactics and
Mr.
crap.
Freeze one, yeah.
Which is
Awesome.
okay. First of all, that thing is hard. I thought that was going to be easy. That junk was hard because I ran out of things I could think of, and he still has like half a life. You put that on the hardest difficulty, he's like has half life. You've already run out of gadgets. But anyway, the point is, like, I feel like Batman, like, not. I don't know. He's not. It doesn't feel like Batman because he feels easily manipulated.
Yeah, which I don't like.
No, it makes me feel like Batman's not. Because if I can see it and Batman doesn't see it, I feel smarter than Batman, and I feel like I shouldn't feel smarter than Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
and that's another reason I'm kind of like, this doesn't, and I get it, like, oh, he's blinded by rage or whatever, I guess, but like, it's Batman. This guy doesn't feel like Batman to me, and he really never has. But
whatever. At least
it's fine.
at least we could all agree that Justice League is a bad movie.
I mean, can we? Because people like, I don't know. I mean, it depends on who you ask. I don't like it. You don't like it, but I mean,
I personally believe. I don't know if it's a better movie than Batman v Superman, but like it's at least.
I would say
I don't know. I felt better about walking out of the theater from that one than it did BVS.
Yeah, I mean, I like it more than BVS, mainly because I don't know. I feel like BVS for me, just the whole thing from start to finish just feels off.
Mm-hmm.
Justice League at least has moments that is kind of like, all right, I'll work with that. And I know not all the characters are like Aquaman is obviously a very different version of Aquaman than we have anything else we know. But it's Aquaman, so it's not like we were super interested in his original character. So yeah, it's fine to change it up. But I don't know. I guess Justice League in general, I kind of like a little bit more than BVS, but neither one is like
a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, but neither one. I'm like, let's go watch it again, like at all.
No, I could watch BVS all day, every day. I love to hate that movie. I love to hate that movie. Maybe that's just me. I know you don't love bad movies the way I do, but like,
everyone's got their thing. Me, I don't like that. If the movie's bad, I don't want to watch it. Like, I will never watch a movie I don't like. Unless I'm a little Batman and Robin, a little bit I'm warming up to because I watched that so much as a kid before I realized what it was. I just saw Batman and was like, oh, this movie's great because it has Batman. And then as I became older, I was like, wow, that was a really bad joke. Wow, there's ice puns for the entire movie. That's impressive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, like, but anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still holding out hope. Kind of maybe that the Zack Snyder Justice League will at least be a movie. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be something.
It will be something. I don't know. I just hope that. I just hope that there's more. justification to making it more so than him just being salty that Justice League was as bad as it was, and also that people have been people have been calling him to make it, for 2+ years now. I want there to be more justification. I want it to be more of a passion project than just I want to please the fans.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is gonna be the latter. I don't know, but here's my thing: if this comes out and it's we've established that no matter what comes out, fanboys are gonna love it. Because I mean, we saw one scene that was exactly the same as what we've already seen, but the suit's a different color and not even convincingly, obviously, repainted. And everyone's losing their minds. So at this point, he could literally just have Zack Snyder just talking in the background and just yeah, I wanted to put this here, but no budget. And then everyone would be like, yeah! So yeah, they'd be like, that's my movie. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, we're not gonna try to convince the fanboys. They have chosen. Mm-hmm. But I guess my biggest thing is after this is over, how do we? I don't know.
How do we go forward? If it is good, will they build the universe off of it? I don't think they can. It's just on HBO Max.
They have a new Batman.
Yeah,
apparently. So there's a whole thing going on. So I don't even know how that's gonna go.
So is there anything else you want to say about BVS or Justice League?
No, it's covered.
We'll probably bring it up again, in a month or so.
It'll come back. We covered it. The Bizarro thing was I never thought about that, but the Bizarro thing, that's another, and now I have another reason not to like it. Mm-hmm. There's a perfectly good, even better character, and I feel like I wouldn't be as mad because they could still do a Death of Superman movie.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to go over just kind of rapid fire through a couple of rumors and just a couple of kind of lighter updates from Disney. Spider-Man 3 got pushed back to December 2021, about a month out. It's fine.
Not that
COVID
far,
happened. Whatever.
Not gonna miss it.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld finally is possibly going to be Kate Bishop. She's been rumored to be playing. Apparently Disney has been eyeing her to play Kate Bishop for over a year now. So she'll maybe play.
Do it. It'll be great. Just do it.
Yeah. Donald Glover is apparently maybe going to return for a Solo series spinoff.
Whoa, of what? Oh, a Solo series? Oh.
Solo.
Oh, okay. I was like, a Solo of what? Sorry. Okay, no, I would watch that. That's kind of the reason I almost watched Solo the first time. No offense.
Yeah, so if you can get the guy that played Han Solo and Donald Glover and Emilia Clarke's character, that was a good cast. It just need to be a better movie. Disney has announced new dates for a new Star Wars trilogy that'll probably happen for December 22nd, 2023, December 19th, 2025, and December 17th, 2027. We don't have any information of who's making them or what they're going to be about. We just know that...
Why would you give dates for that, though?
I don't know.
What does that accomplish?
It might be Rian Johnson's trilogy. One of those might be Taika Waititi's movie. Or maybe he might get his own trilogy. We don't know.
If they do the whole, switch off directors / writers thing again, I don't know if I can do it.
I want to believe they learn from their mistakes, but maybe not. We'll see.
Well, they said Taika Waititi's getting his own. Rian Johnson's apparently getting his trilogy, so maybe they're gonna do where Rian Johnson's J.J. Abrams and Taika Waititi's with old Rian Johnson, and they just mix them up for some reason. Or
I hope not. But...
At least make the ones by the same people in order, so we can kind of get it how it's going. Because these movies contradicting themselves is annoying.
Mm-hmm. And if it is Rian Johnson's movie, just for the fanboy's sake, don't give him any classic characters to work with, because he'll ruin them. I'm joking, but you know what I'm saying.
Just go somewhere. I thought the whole point of the new movies was to go somewhere far away, where we didn't have to worry about any of the old canon. But then they're like, oh no, you know what? Now it's the Skywalker saga. After all that, because we talked about so much Skywalker in all these movies, right? No one. It's even Ben Solo. I don't care if he is a Skywalker technically. I don't even care.
Rey's a Skywalker, obviously.
Oh
Anyway,
my god.
moving on. Uh, a Darth Maul centered live action D plus show is rumored.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Yep. Yep.
The guy that's voiced Darth Maul, since in the Clone Wars and whatnot, he showed up in Solo with full, looking like Darth Maul. Like, yes, do that.
I'd be for it. That's a lot of makeup, but I'd be for it.
I mean, he even the guy even came back to mocap his scene fighting
I
Ahsoka.
know.
So
that was so cool.
just do that. We want more.
Please more. Yes.
If like you can even have, assuming the timeline lines up, you can even have like a crossover episode with the Obi-Wan show and have their clash in live action. Like, oof.
Bro. Like the ending of his show is like the beginning of the Obi-Wan show. What?
Maybe.
sorry. Okay. But no, dude, that'd be so sick. Oh my gosh. Continue.
There's a heavy rumor that Captain Marvel 2 might be kind of like a mini Avengers type thing, kind of like either Winter Soldier or even like a Civil War type situation.
Yeah, I heard about that. Which I mean, no offense to Captain Marvel, but I think that would make the movie a little more interesting.
Yeah, like
not that I don't like it, but like, sorry, but keep it
like
more.
Captain Marvel 1 was fine. It's fine.
But like it would up the ante, and especially if it has to, especially with Nick Fury being in space and whatever's going on with all that, if it kind of pertains to that, yeah, I'm in. Like,
yeah, and you can have people like Spider-Man showing up, people like Miss Marvel and other people from the D Plus series showing up. Like, I think that makes sense, especially if Captain Marvel, if she does kind of fill the Iron Man role, like her and apparently Marvel are wanting her to be. I don't necessarily know if that'd be the best idea, just given the how people reacted to Captain Marvel. I think it's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be, but like,
I don't want there to be a fan Civil War.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there will be.
So, but if that is how they want to go about it, showing her working off of people like Spider-Man and maybe Falcon and other characters. I think her and Rhodey, I think, have a thing in the comics. So like,
yes,
having her working with Rhodey would be fun. Like,
which I don't know how that works, but whatever.
And if you want to also throw Rogue in there and make her, yes,
X-Men, please, like that'd be so cool.
Like just kind of systematically put one or two X-Men into every movie in Phase 4 and 5. Like, Storm is obviously going to show up in Black Panther 2. That's just going to happen. Along with possibly Doctor Doom. Like,
yo, if they have Storm, I'm gonna lose it.
Have Rogue show up in Captain Marvel 2. Have Wolverine show up in the She-Hulk show. Like, there's a lot of different ways.
Slowly move them along, and they come together. And then,
dude. Like, you don't necessarily need to come out of the gate with an X-Men movie, but if you want to kind of sneak some of them into individual movies where they make sense, I'd be all for that.
I like that idea, actually. Yeah, like not enough that it takes the spotlight completely away, but enough that it's like, I see what they're doing, and I like it. Like,
Yep. So yeah, that actually made me a lot more excited for that movie. Like, I mean, I was already, baseline kind of excited because I didn't hate Captain Marvel 1, but knowing that there will be other characters and other potential, new characters showing up in that movie makes me more excited.
Right.
And let's see, last little bit of news: the sequel to the Sonic movie is officially dated for April 8th, 2022.
Okay.
Which I think might be the same date as Into the Spider-Verse 2, or at least same month.
Ooh.
Same month, at least. Yeah.
Ooh. Will not be happy about that.
No.
I swear, if Sonic beats out Into the Spider-Verse 2, which I don't think it should, I feel like now that people know what it's about, like, it's going to get the respect.
Into the Spider-Verse should just destroy everything that year.
I would hope so. Especially if they do it well.
Yeah. And also, shout out to the guy making the Spongebob anime. Like, he's been doing this thing for years where he animates SpongeBob over various different like Naruto or Bleach or Dragon Ball anime intros. So him taking that talent and actually making like a legitimately very good, very well dubbed anime styled SpongeBob fight sequence. Like the entire time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, oh, he just like is animating something over just generic, anime dialogue. No, they actually say Spongebob. Like they actually say it.
Right? Like it's actual stuff. And I don't know if all of it's actual Japanese or whatever, but my brother said he thinks so.
I think so,
but
yeah.
I don't know. But like it's so like even if it's not, it's so well done. Like it's so great. Like again, and I love how there's little references to stuff. And he's like, oh, not just a boulder. This is a rock, just out here in the open. The pioneers used these weapons back in the day. Like he's going into stuff and like. It's so well done, and it's something that like anyone who's seen SpongeBob and even like slightly cares about anime would just love. Like I love this idea.
Oh yeah, like I think it was called SpongeBob Anime Episode 1. So if you want to keep doing it, please, it's awesome.
Please do. Like I would be so. Oh, it was so entertaining. Like my brother said this to me, and I'm like, what? Like, is this the intros again? It's like, no, this is like 15 minutes long. This is really like I got into it, man. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like how they fight and he like goes ape and like it's really good, man.
So yeah,
really good.
if you've ever seen an anime or even just like have cursory knowledge of anime but love SpongeBob as well, do yourself a favor and watch SpongeBob anime.
It's like we know you've seen SpongeBob because everyone has.
Yeah.
But like if you haven't seen anime, watch anime and then watch this and you'll love it.
Yeah.
It's so great.
So, time to move on to Nerd Clash. So today, I thought it would be interesting to do Gorilla Grodd versus Donkey Kong.
Because why not?
Because why not? An enhanced ape versus just some gorilla that's stupid, strong, and powerful for no reason.
For a reason. I don't know. That clap is a one-hit kill, man. Like, I don't care what you say. Like, Gorilla Grodd, all the mind control you want, but if that clap hits, like... oh my goodness.
So, the reason why I thought of this was because in the intro to Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii, the intro starts with one of the little tiki mask things flying up to him, like invading his house, and trying to mind control him, but it doesn't work.
Oh!
Implying that if Grodd tried to mind control him, it probably wouldn't work.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So assuming he's immune to mind control, this makes this basically a giant monkey fight, which is always a win.
Yes.
But, okay. As far as I know, I don't know if Grodd has any specific fighting training. I would assume so, just because when you're that smart, you might as well. But
yeah, I think like because he's so smart, he essentially just kind of has knowledge of everything, so he like at least knows how to fight.
Right.
And I mean, Donkey Kong is just a gorilla. Like he has like basic survival instincts. At least. So I think it just kind of comes down to who can punch harder and who can take stronger hits. Obviously, Gorilla Grodd can somehow take hits from Superman.
This is true. So there's that. But then again, Superman probably wasn't going for the kill, obviously.
Yeah.
At least this version.
Like he's like sometimes just like flicks them or just like throws them and whatnot. But like he can take hits from these super strong beings in the DC universe.
So that's notable.
Yes.
But
in the climax of Donkey Kong Returns, if I remember correctly, in order to stop a volcano erupting, Donkey Kong launches himself into space and punches the moon back into orbit and blocks the volcano. He punched the moon. Yep. Mm-hmm. The moon. You win. Yeah. So, do you have anything else you want to bring up or talk about? Okay. And with that, we will see you all next time.